Welcome, everybody. My name is Andrew Daniel. I am the director at the Center for Somatic Development, where we use movement and video to help you see things like being a perfectionist, things like control and surrender, and all those stories, myths, archetypes, and shadow material that hold you back from love and wealth and abundance and joy and peace. So that's what we do. And I'm also the author of this book, Awaken to Your True Self, Why You're Still Stuck and How to Break Through. And today we are going to be doing a somatic meditation. What is a somatic meditation? First, how it's different, and then what we're going to be doing today. So, typically, regular meditations are a way to concentrate and focus on something, usually one thing, and get answers, contemplate, to go inwards and connect with whatever it is that you want to focus on. Usually through thought in the mind or the subconscious mind. Another major way meditation is practiced is through a stilling of the mind, a stopping of the mind, usually by trying not to think or to push thoughts away or to suppress thoughts or to try to avoid thoughts. It's all thought and mind oriented. What we do in somatic meditation is stop all of that, and instead of using the mind to prevent thoughts and to get still and quiet, we use the body. We focus on feeling rather than thinking. We help you get out of your head and back into your body so you can connect with what you're feeling. You can connect with your body. You can connect with your emotions. And you can connect with the space, the universe. Because accessing the space around you, accessing that infinite intelligence, doesn't come from the head. It comes from the body and feeling. So that's a little rundown of somatic meditation. And what we're going to be doing today, I actually decided this while I was in the shower as I was going through my own process. For me, I often will spend a lot of time in the shower as a way to decompress, almost like a sauna, steam room. A standing / leaning / sitting / running water hot tub. And in it this morning, the idea for what we're going to be doing today came to me by default, not by fault, by default of me doing that for myself. Intuitively just saying, oh, that's interesting. What is going on there in my body? So we're going to do this somatic meditation. It's going to be a fairly simple one, and we're going to be exploring the relationship with our fingers. And I will be giving you certain prompts and certain invitations and explorations for you to just connect and tune in to the feeling of these parts of your body. If you've done this before, you know this can sound a little strange and odd, but you've also experienced the benefit and the surprises that doing something like this can reveal. If you haven't done this before, if it's your first time, see if you can just have fun with it. See if you can keep an open mind and empty your cup and be willing to feel and tell the truth and trust the weird little whispers and sensations and images that pop up, because this is going to be a very subtle practice today, and it's going to require you to trust the things that are coming up. It probably may not make sense. You probably may not understand it, but remember, this is not a rational process. Delete the need to understand. Suspend control. These are good invitations for life as well. All right, any questions before we hop into it? Nope. All right. Darina says, I always want to understand everything in life. All right. This is good. All right. So there's two parts here. One, I think, can stem from a very, very wonderful place, and that is curiosity. I'm insanely curious, and I want to know all sorts of things. If you have a gift and an interest and a specialty, and you want to share it with me, I'm like, tell me. All right, how does the nail file work? How does the car engine work? How does that crane work? How does those cells and those cells communicate? Tell me. This is amazing. So this curiosity can be a wonderful intention. It can be a wonderful propellant to learning and growth and becoming very, very successful and wise and knowledgeable and functional. Now, what comes in is that second part of the understanding, when it becomes neurotic, when you can only feel safe and comfortable, when everything's settled out, when all of the pieces are put together. That's the only time you can have peace. Yeah, but what about that? You can't fall asleep at night because it's not going through your thick skull, and you just have to overanalyze everything and get all of that minutia figured out and sorted out in order for you to feel safe and at ease. And that has a neurosis to it. That has a control element. That has a non-trusting element to it. And this is where you can see that compulsion can come from these two different places. And when it comes from that genuine curiosity, that neurosis, that fear, that lack of safety, that lack of trust isn't there. It's the opposite. You're trusting in life. You're showing up to life. You don't know, and you're enjoying the unknown. This is great. I haven't said it like this before. This is really good. All right, so the difference is between embracing and enjoying the unknown in curiosity, and in the neurotic compulsion to understand everything is a discomfort with not knowing. I think that's a really good distinction. That's a really good distinction. I think the element of safety and trust is also very important in the difference between those two. So, let me know if that was helpful. That was helpful to me. It's like, okay, that explains a lot. All right. And so when you find yourself in one or the other, I think those three litmus tests, those three questions act as a good litmus test to see, is this coming from this dysfunctional place and going to create more pain and suffering? Or does it come from this functional curious place that's going to bring you more joy and expansion and growth. I relate to both, but definitely fall into the latter a lot. Yeah, oftentimes that curiosity as a child can, then get perverted somehow, right, into a control mechanism, a safety mechanism, um, survival mechanism, coping mechanism over time. And so, what's the path? Well, the path is stopping through subtraction, right? It's not about understanding more, it's about healing, right? Whatever story that has been added on into your life for control, for safety, for trust. Ask me how I know. All right, so excellent question. I think that brought us all forward. Really cool. Did not expect that, but that was helpful for me to play through that. And oftentimes, this is my favorite part of doing stuff live. I can sit down and write a book like this from my own experience and go through work I've done with, hundreds of people and come up with some really good stuff. But when we have this external input, when we have this live dynamic, it forces me to show up in new ways that I've never shown up before. And that's kind of where that intuition, that energy comes through, and new ideas come forth. And I love that. That's one of my favorite parts of what I do, is that, as I'm a vessel or a vehicle or a conduit for this stuff, I get to learn too. I get to figure it out myself. Say, okay, wow, really cool. So thank you very much. We're all moving each other forward. Well, let's get into the meditation, shall we? All right, so we're going to start with 3 breaths together. I like to do this on all of the calls just to get us connected, tuned in, have a nice little separation. You'll be able to do this sitting, standing, lying down. You will need your hands free for this. So if you need to put earbuds in, speakerphone, whatever it is, you don't want to be holding your phone or tablet or anything like this. All right, that's about it. This will probably be a shorter one. I say that, and it's usually going to end up being a longer one because stuff comes up. But from what I have in store currently, from this vantage point, I think we'll be able to do today's call well within the hour. All right? So let's begin. In through the nose, hold, and out through the mouth. I also like to start by grounding out, getting centered. And this doesn't have to be esoteric. This doesn't have to be a metaphysical thing. We just want to get into our body and connect to the earth. So just drop into your body Feel your head. You can do it with or without movement. Sometimes, if you have trouble connecting with it internally, just with awareness, sometimes just moving that part of your body can help you access it. Just feel your head, your face, your neck, your ears. Oh, there they are. Can you wiggle your ears? I can't. No. You can wiggle your ears. You get a gold sticker. Drop down into your chest, your arms, your hands, your torso, your belly, your hips, your butt, thighs, your knees, the back of your knees. Oh yeah, yep, you got the back of your knees. Your calves, your ankles, your feet, your toes, just find that feeling of home in your body. So many of us do not feel at home in our own bodies. So many of us are at war with our bodies. This is an invitation to stop. Some of us are at war with other people's bodies. And when you realize there's no one else out there, it really all comes back to us. All right, so we are going to be playing with our fingers. It sounds naughty, but it is not. So, let's just have you begin by bringing both of your hands up and just connecting to them. Turn them, you can wiggle them, right? You don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just doing it along so I can tune into the energy. I am not perfect. It's not about doing what I'm doing or mimicking me. It's about listening to yourself and what's going on for you. I'm just a guide. So we're just going to spend a few minutes just being present with our hands. You can even be still. And just be aware if you prefer to go faster or slower, if you're more aggressive or soft, where they are. Are you keeping them really low? Are you bringing them really high? Are you taking up a little space? Are you taking up a lot of space? So we're just going to let you do this for a few minutes. You can ignore me and just follow your own flow, or you can explore my gentle invitations. Notice any tension. Why did I say that? Because I noticed some tension. Notice any tension. Remember, let go of judgment. There's nothing to understand here. We're not figuring anything out. None of this means anything right now. You are not amazing. You are not a failure. You are not broken. You are not fixed. You are not anything except what is. And we all have light. We all have shadow. Right now, we're just playing. Nothing to heal, nothing to fix, nothing to do. Just being present. I think so many of us spend so much of our time trying to fix ourselves, and there's no space to just play and explore without pressure and expectation or understanding. See if you can tune in to just the miracle of a body. The fact that any of this is even possible, that millions of years of life, some kind of evolution, some kind of creation, some kind of innovation, inventions of nature and mankind allow us to do this together from around the world. We have a body. You have a body. You have hands. Some people don't. It's a blessing. We're not an amoeba, right? A lot of cool stuff. Trillions of cells. A lot of them aren't even us. They're bacteria and viruses and other things. But somehow it makes us us. It's a trip. So just tune into the miracle of this. Darina says, sometimes I'd rather be an amoeba. Yeah. Well, you can try it. See if you can move your hands. All right, let's do this, guys. All right, so try to move your hand. You're going to have to know what an amoeba is. If you don't know what an amoeba is, just keep doing what you were doing. But see if you can tune into that frequency, tune into that archetype of an amoeba. What would that look like? In your hands, in your body, right? Move your hands in the feeling of an amoeba. I don't know. Do they make sounds? How do they move? They kind of like float. They're in water. So this is a really good exercise. We do this more in the advanced work because we can tune into some, very powerful, intense kind of archetypes and energies. And it generally needs some high-level facilitation. But one of the things that we do is, all right, how do we tune in somatically into these archetypes? How do we get into relationship to these archetypes of different animals and organisms? So I think we'll do that in a future call. If you guys want to show up on a future call and remind me about doing different archetypes in the body, remind me and we'll do that. But I want to stick to the hands for today. But you see, this is the curiosity. This is the energy. It's going to bring us into new places that I never planned. And so part of the somatic meditation is going with the flow, is being present to what's there. And I could have judged it. I could have suppressed it, ignored it, said, no, pay attention. But by feeling and trusting it, it's going to move us all forward even more. It's really quite beautiful. I don't do this all the time, but that's why it's a practice. All right, so you can stop this amoeba business. All right, so you should be fairly aware of your hands at this point. What I'd like you to do next is to look at your fingers. And I want you to go one by one and tune into the energy of each finger. Perhaps you feel one of the most common things, I'll tell you in a minute because I don't want to influence what you're doing. So just tune in. What do you feel? What's the feeling of your thumbs? What does it feel like to you? What does it look like? It's going to be symbolic. And you may notice judgments, stories, feelings, emotions arise from it. So, for example, how I kind of came up with this today was I was in the shower and my ring fingers, the knuckle closest to my fingernail doesn't bend back like the rest of my fingers. So I don't know if that's, I don't know what that is, but I know other people don't have. Most people I see don't have that. So when I look at it, there's a certain judgment because it seems a little crooked. It looks a little dumb. And so I have this energy as I tune into it of it feeling less than. It feels not as equipped, not as good as the other fingers. And so one of the things that I've seen a lot with clients is it gets personified. And so a lot of times people see their families in it, right? So for example, let's say your hand's like this, and this is all the rest of your family, and this is you. So one of the things you can look at is which of the fingers in the group of 10, do you identify as? That's one way you can go here. And so, for example, if it's like this, well, what does this kind of feel like? Maybe the black sheep, maybe they're outcasted, right? Maybe they're separated from the rest of the family. So these are the kind of things that might start showing up as you explore this. Again, in cinesomatics, you would have facilitation and video, and we would be able to see what's going on for you. As this is a practice you're doing yourself, it's just going to require you to explore and feel and tune in to what's coming up for you. And you can also turn your hands around and look at the other side. It might have a different feeling. Which side feels feminine, which side feels masculine? or yin and yang. And another thing you can do is move them around, group them together. Right? What happens when these two come together? What does that feel like? Now what's the relationship? Right? What happens when these come together? What's that relationship? When these come together, right? What about these? What about this? This is not a rational process. There's none of this is supposed to make any sense. You just want to feel. This is where I said earlier, trust. It's not going to make any sense. This is so weird. Why does the pinky feel rejected and like the third wheel? I don't know. It's your fingers. It's not going to make sense. But the fact that it's coming up reveals that there is something there. Okay, what's it like when they're together? Then you can try the other hand. So this is going to be the yang side, and this is going to be the yin side. May not make a difference for you, but it's something that you can account for. Another thing that I see is if the hands are shut down. Maybe you're just looking at your hands like this. So the hands shut down. Right? There's not energy flowing through. You see it just kind of as dead and stops. Versus this. But then if you see this, right? This is hysterical. Right? Everything's to the extreme and going backward. Right? You can just kind of feel that's for a lot of people. If you're not doing that, that probably feels very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable for me to do it. So there's this hysteric aspect. It is toasty here in Nashville. Yeah, toasty. Warm, hot. I'm sweating. All these lights. There's like 8 lights here in the studio, plus all this equipment. It's warm. Thank you very much. So feel your hands. What is the relationship between the fingers? And then what is the relationship you have with your fingers? Right? Them towards each other, but what about you as you towards them? Remember, you're just being aware. You're just turning your observer on and just observing what's happening. Nothing to do, nothing to fix. If you have judgments, just be aware of the judgments. You don't need to judge the judgments. You don't need to get rid of them. You don't need to indulge in them. If you're feeling something, let yourself feel it. If there's emotions coming up, feel those emotions. Anytime that real feeling arises, that becomes the priority. I don't care about the rest of the exercise, the movement. If something is coming up, you go into it and you feel it. That's the whole point. Do not try to suppress it, to tough through, to get to some other wacky idea of a goal. Feel it. Go into it. It's coming up. All right. I'll give you another minute here to wrap up. So just in this final minute or so, just start moving them again. Just find a new way to move your fingers in the space. See if you can move your fingers somehow. Find some way to move them that you've never moved them before. It could be a feeling. It could be a flavor, the timbre of it. It could be the rate, the speed, the range, the scale, the intensity. All of these different variables that you can change and explore to move your fingers in a new way. How many you're moving, which ones. So just take a minute to try new ways of moving your fingers. All right, let's take 3 deep breaths together and end our practice for today. Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody. I will stick around here for the next 10 minutes or so for you to share your experience, for any questions and answers. If you need to go, thank you so much for joining. My name is Andrew Daniel. You can find this replay on my YouTube Clips channel, where I have all these replays available if you came in late or you want to try this again. And we'll see you next Saturday. Otherwise, let me know what your experience was. Anything cool, anything interesting, anything that you would like to share, type in the comments here, and we'll see where that goes. And if you have any other questions, you can pop them down in there as well, and I'll see if I can provide something satisfactory for you. I don't know if it's an answer. I don't know if it's going to be an answer, but maybe it might satisfy something. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I'm sure your PJs are lovely. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just finished up. We started here at 11. But if you go to my YouTube Clips channel, then you can catch this replay, and you'll be able to go through the whole thing on your own time. And you'll be able to catch us next Saturday at the same time. But come 50 minutes earlier so you don't miss it. All right, what else do we got here? Yeah, I don't know if anyone else is in a suit, but you can ask my girlfriend. This is what I normally wear. This is my normal attire. Your first time. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining. I hope this was valuable or at least interesting. You never know what's going to come up in these. Sometimes they're filled with hundreds of people, and it's a rowdy, fun time, and other times it's quiet and still and intimate, and all of it's wonderful. So great to meet you, Jennifer. Elaine says, I felt like I was a middle finger. Interesting. Why is that? Is that related to what in the West we do with the middle finger? What about the middle finger? Is it because it's the tallest, longest? What about the middle finger you associated with? Stephanie says, I also like the camera angle changes. Thanks. I got distracted. Oops. With the angle where it shows the painting. Oh, this one? Yeah. So this is, oops, there it went. I'll tell you when it pops over again. Blini. Oh my gosh, I hope I'm saying your name right. Blini? 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 If you missed this, you can catch the whole thing if you search Andrew Daniel Clips, or just go to andrewdaniel.org, my website. You'll be able to find the replay of this. So yes, this image, that painting, is St. George and the Dragon. It is a reproduction of a painting that I saw myself in Montepulciano in Italy at one of the churches there. It's really, really powerful symbolism. And so in the advanced work we do, one of the reasons I have it is because in the advanced groups and programs that I have, we work with ancient imagery and symbolism and tarot and esoteric images that have a lot of powerful symbolism in there, and it creates a lot of healing and breakthroughs for a lot of people working with these imageries, and that's one of them. Now you know. The more you know. I should get one of those graphics and pop it up on the screen. The more you know. Oh, distracted in a good way. Good. All right. Thanks. Appreciate it. Let's see. Elaine says the length and amongst everyone helping. Oh, interesting. Okay. So did you feel that you had the support? You were in the middle and you were being supported by the rest of the fingers? Oh, you were supporting them. Okay, interesting. Great. Anybody else? Anybody else besides my jacket and my paintings, which is wonderful, by the way. Thank you for that curiosity and the kind words. Any other? All right. Yes. Good. Great. We got one. We got two. Here we go. Teresa says, in the end, I realized how much I use my hands and that they are beautiful and that I usually don't notice them, taking them for granted. Wonderful. Fun to play with them and feel appreciation the moment gave. I would appreciate more appreciative moments in my life. Beautiful. Yeah, I've had a similar experience with my feet. It's like, man, how often do we ignore what our feet do for us? So, great. Thanks for sharing. Dorina says, when we tried moving as an amoeba, I realized I was allowing myself to move very slowly. Is that something you don't normally let yourself do? Jennifer says, how often do you do your meditations? Right now, we're doing them once a week. These are free, open to the public meditations. Here on Insight Timer, and then the replays on YouTube. So, yeah. You are welcome. All right. Any last I can also relate to judging the way my fingers look. Yeah, it's so interesting what we do. Do you offer recordings in your profile? I don't think they let me have recordings. That's only audio, no video. Oh, you know what? I don't, but it might be an interesting idea to take these parts, the actual just meditation parts from these, and have them as Insight Timer meditations. That's a good idea. I don't know how much work that would be, but it's an idea. I got a couple recordings. They're a bit old. They're from a few years ago. It looked a little bit different. Sounded a little bit different. But there's ones on living the avoidant life, allowing beauty, self-betrayal. Yes. So what we did here, Stephanie, is a somatic meditation. You'll check this out on the replay, but it's a somatic meditation. So instead of being in our head, trying to stop the mind with the mind, we are in our bodies, and through movement and feeling and somatic awareness, that's how we get present. That's how we explore and do this practice. So today's was focused on the fingers. Other times we've done connecting to the space and different objects in the space. We've done feet. We've done full body. We do all sorts of stuff. There's lots and lots of different ways we can drop into our body and be down here and explore for healing and greater peace and groundedness and embodiment. All right. Elaine, thank you very much. You are welcome very much. All right, I think that will do it, unless anything magical pops up in the next few seconds. My name is Andrew Daniel. I am the author of this book, Awaken to Your True Self, Why You're Still Stuck, and How to Break Through. I'm also the director at the Center for Somatic Development, where this whole somatic meditation practice comes from. Somatics is a advanced therapeutic transformational modality where we use video and movement to help people confront and see their shadow material and the truth of what's running them in their lives, not through talking about it alone, but through the body. Through seeing how we show up in our body shows us how we show up in our life. So that's me. That's what we did. If you want to catch this replay, once again, find the Andrew Daniel Clips channel on YouTube. You'll be able to watch this probably by tomorrow or tonight. And we'll see you next Saturday, same time, same place. Thank you guys so much.